just saw there.
Boy, he had some great games. One in particular, postseason, January 9th, 1994 against the Raiders, when Shannon Sharp tied a postseason record with 13 receptions, although that would later be broken by Darren Sproles, who had 15 catches in a 2011 postseason game. Here's Tucker now out to kick this one away. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. Now the first carry for Marshawn Lynch. And he'll work his way across the 30 to the 32. A solid run on first down. Gain of 7 leaves him with a 2nd and 3.
They'd love to just strike back with a touchdown right here, and if it's a long play, so be it. But the main goal, get a couple of first downs, run some plays, run some clock, allow their defense to get a chance to catch their breath.
He rifles one that's intercepted. Picked off by Night Train Lane. And he will score. Touchdown, Chicago. We thought this defense would be opportunistic, and they were. Here you're already up. Now you got a 2-touchdown lead. I tell you, going out there on defense, did they have a little bit of extra momentum with a score already on the board?
Oh, without a doubt. That already felt good to them. They took it and used it and obviously put up another one. But here's the thing now. Some defense coordinators might want to pull their guys back a little bit because they don't want them to make mistakes because they're too overamped. Others say, I've got a 2-touchdown lead. Go get them, guys. They'll be even more aggressive.
So they throw the pick 6. They'll get another shot at it now as this one's in the air. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. Now this offense ready to head back out there. And they just had that pick 6. I guess the only positive maybe of them returning that for a touchdown. This offense right back out onto the field to try to make up for it.
I like that because now it doesn't give them a chance to go to the bench and really settle. You know, to sit there and kind of seethe over the idea that they turned the ball over previously. Right back out there. It's almost like hopping right back on the bike after falling over. See if they can get the ball moving again.
Yeah, we'll see if they can do it here. Well, where do you find that one in the playbook, Charles?
You don't. You absolutely don't. And sometimes what happens is guys want to make a big play, and they turn it into a really bad one. Sometimes you're best just to cut your losses and go down. I hope we don't see another play like that. I'll guarantee you the offensive coordinator, he's going to get his play sheet. He can't find it either.
Back with Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gaudin. It's San Antonio football here to begin quarter number 2. They do, however, have a tough 3rd and long coming up. Watson off play action. He's going to look deep for Edelman. So they took a shot there on 3rd down, couldn't get it. Now it's 4th. Some of the fans here don't seem too happy about what we've seen in this first half.
No, not at all, and I understand why. They've looked lethargic, out of sync, and it shows on the scoreboard.
Here's Brad Wing now to punt it away on 4th down. Back deep here, Andre Roberts. And taken right on the 30. Look at the spin.
Balance.
A very nice job on the run back there. He'll get 23 yards all told. Adrian Peterson now getting ready to go again on offense. And he's well on his way to a 100-yard game. He's already more than halfway there. We're only in the 2nd quarter.
And what I've always loved about running backs is they'll tell you, I had no idea how many yards I had.
Right.
Those guys have an innate sense of where they are in a ball game and how many yards they've accumulated because you know they're always working towards 100.
Got a man. It's caught inside the 10. A huge play there for Chicago. 41 yards.
That's a big-time pitch and catch right there. And, partner, I remember the days when quarterbacks would try this. They were holding their breath. But nowadays, they're counting on their receiver to be just a little bit better than a defensive back.
And he will fight his way into the end zone for a touchdown. Adrian Peterson, a 6-yard touchdown run. And his guys find a way to stretch that lead. Now the offense will stay out there. They're going to line up and try for 2.
Could not block that one any better. Everyone was accounted for, and a great surge by the offensive line.
Elway. And he's got it. So the try for 2 successful. And that bumps their lead up even further. He hits the big target for the 2-point try. Defenses hate those guys, especially around the goal line.
It's hard to decide who you're going to put on him. Are you going to put a smaller corner on him? Are you going to put a safety who doesn't have maybe the same coverage skills? How about a linebacker? He may have the size, but he's not used to really covering in space. That's why the tight end gives you such a great advantage when you're throwing the football.
Here's Tucker now out to kick this one away. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Now this offense about ready to take over again. And some dangerous territory. You're already down 3 scores. A 3-and-out here, or an inability to put any points up. This one might be over by half.
Yeah, and what you also have to guard against is calling every play for a big shot downfield. You know, thinking you're going to get all these points back on one drive. You're not. And last time I looked, it's still the first half. I'm not saying you have ultimate patience here, but you also don't have to go ahead and force everything either.
2 minutes to play here in the first half. We're back to Arlington right after this timeout. We remind you that coming up at halftime, Jonathan Coachman will be alongside. He'll have highlights and analysis from Orlando of this first half of action. They'll break the huddle, come up on 2nd and 8 at the 27-yard line. Here's Watson now on 2nd down. To the sideline. Wow, what a catch. Doesn't get a lot out of it, but he is able to keep the feet in bounds. Only 3 yards on the catch. It's 3rd down. From the gun on 3rd, Watson. And McDonald here over the middle. And he'll get it up near the 35, right at the 34 here. And play is stopped here. Timeout. It's the defense calling the timeout here, as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. Here's Brad Wing now, as he'll punt it away for the 2nd time. 31 yards on the punt there. And now Chicago getting ready to go as they take the field. And right now they're saying, hey, let's keep this going. 2 drives, 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, can't ask for a better start than that, can you? I mean, this is the way you practice it. This is the way you rehearse it. But right now, the play calling, they're locked in really well.
Now a play fake here on 1st down. He's going to air one out. And that's caught inside the 30. And they're able to work this to the 25 before it's all said and done. And give them a gain at 37.
Gone! All right, now, look at 56. Look it.
On 1st down, Elway. Throw left side, complete to Sharp. And he is in. Touchdown, Chicago. As his guys are in for... And this offense is running away with this one. The offense going to stay on the field as they will line up and go for 2.
Leopard!
Elway will throw. And this is going to be caught. Well, not sure about the need to go for 2, but they get it and extend this lead out even further. So they go with a pass, and it works there on the 2-point try. Charles, just in general, what are your thoughts passing versus running on 2-point conversion? Situational?
It is situational, and you have to know your team. What is your strength? Because so many people think you have to throw the ball in a 2-point conversion, but the stats will tell you that running it is about as proficient. So know your team and go to your strength.
And we put our focus now on Le'Veon Bell. You can count his carries on one finger. They've only given him the rock one time, Charles. What gives?
So we can't draw any conclusions just yet. He has to touch the ball multiple times in order to get into a rhythm and have a chance to have success. You know who else gets into a rhythm? The offensive line. They feel better about what they're doing when they know they have multiple opportunities to get it done.
Yeah, well, the conclusion we draw so far, they're losing here in the second quarter. Let's see if they change tunes. And now we won't see a play on first down. We're going to get a timeout instead, as the clock shows 50 seconds to play here in half number one. So the big play changes the complexion of things. Here's 1st and 10 just outside the 30. Now it's Watson, and that's going to be incomplete.
It's been my observation there's been a nice variety of play calling defensively. You and I often talk about an offense's ability to keep a defense off balance with what they're doing. I think the converse has been true in this game.
I think you're right. They seem to have gone off tendency quite a bit. Under pressure, and he will go down. Sacked back at the 38. Now another timeout called for by the offense, as they'll stop it with just over 40 seconds to go in the first half. 3rd and long. It's Watson. Oh, had his hands on it, couldn't bring it in. Pretty symptomatic of how this game's been going.
And what did we talk with them about prior to the game? Their ability to move the chains, pick up first downs. So far, 0 for 3 on 3rd down. If that continues, they'll have little chance of winning this one.
And problems spreading to the punt team now. This one goes all the way into the end zone on the fly, so that'll come back to the 20. There he is, the man taking the snaps under center, heading out for the next possession. They've got the lead. He's a big reason why, looking sharp so far.
And as we travel around the league, we see quarterbacks get it done in a variety of ways. But today's NFL does tell us one thing.
Well, this is taken in. It's complete. Touchdown, Chicago. Calvin Johnson, an 80-yard touchdown. And this offense continues to pour it on. Now the offense will stay out there. They're going to line up and try for 2.
Heard a coach talk about those late-in-the-half scores, especially ones that give your team a pretty decent cushion. He said those could be the ones that can finish off a squad if you let them.
Yeah, they've got the cushion. This half has been theirs. So they're able to throw it in for the 2-point conversion. Sometimes that can be a risky play, but they got it.
Yeah, you always have to be careful here, because if you do get it intercepted, it's returned by the defense, that's 2 points for them. But he identified an open target and put it right on him.
Here's Tucker now out to kick this one away. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And not wanting to risk anything here late in the half, he'll just take a knee, and they'll bring the football out to the 25. Julian Edelman and the rest of the offense back onto the field now. Hasn't had his best day to this point here in the second quarter, and they're losing. You got to think, though, that also means that maybe the defense doing a good job on it. There's 2 sides to that coin.
I would agree, so you have to give them credit, but that means you've got to find a way to beat that defense and make sure one of your top playmakers touches the football and has an impact on the game. Change formations, change where he lines up, put him in motion. Anything possible to shake him free.
Maybe that greater impact comes here on this drive. They'll break the huddle, come up on 2nd and 8 at the 27-yard line.
Down. Black 22. Black 22.
On 2nd down, it's Bell. And that one blown up quickly, as he's going to be stopped before he could even get started. And now they'll take a timeout defensively. After the 2nd down play, they burn the timeout, making him sweat out the final few ticks here in the second quarter. And with time running short here, they'll simply take a knee, and that should do it for half number one. So 2 quarters down, 2 remain. Charles and I return after the break.
Okay, right, Brandon. Thanks very much. And welcome in, everyone, to this slimmed-down version of the EA Sports Halftime Report. This one, maybe not the hard-fought battle many had hoped for. This has been blowout city thus far, but still more football to be played. Who knows what could happen? As we send you right back out to Brandon Gaudin.
This is taken about 7 yards deep. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Out comes this offensive unit as they get set to take over here. They come out here with a 0 on the scoreboard. What was said in that locker room? That's what I want to know.
I would love to have been in there because we often have the feeling that there's a lot of shouting, screaming, people upset. But typically, halftime locker rooms are a lot more clinical than that. And in this case, are they upset that the plays weren't working because of execution, or did they think they were just bad plays to call?
Yeah.
We'll find out pretty quickly here if they feel like they had something going, but they just need to do it a little bit better or not.
We'll find out. One play has him up past the 40 already, and another 1st and 10.
Down. Move 80.
And they'll keep it on the ground with Bell. And he's got this one just across midfield to the 49. 8 yards on the pickup, and now they'll have some options on 2nd and short.
And there we saw one of the downsides of blitzing during a rundown because sometimes you get out of your gaps. You don't fit the run quite as well because you're headed towards the ball carrier with abandon.
Watson now to throw. On the left side, it's McDonald. And he'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30. A good pickup there, a 22. I don't know what they talked about at halftime. Whatever it was, it worked. They looked like a different team here in the 3rd quarter.
Yeah, I doubt that there were very many trash cans that got kicked over that type of a speech. I think what they did was they analyzed what worked in the first half, what didn't, and figured out a better game plan.
And now running right through him. It's a loss of a yard there, and now 2nd down.
Well, it hasn't been a whole lot of fun for Le'Veon Bell in this ball game, trying to find room to run the ball. I'm sure they're going to have to change some things up because he's so versatile. They've got to get the ball in his hands somehow and create some space because they're losing this game.
Well, defensively, you've got to key in on Bell, make him the focal point to stop, and they've been able to do that.
And he has gotten better every year he's been in the league, always adding something to his game, one of the premier runners in the NFL.
Throwing on 3rd down, Watson. A hit as he throws there, incomplete.
Well, we always talk about how you've got to be quick when you go through your progressions, and here's another prime example. Trying to look downfield, he was standing in the pocket, but just couldn't find anyone open, could he?
No, not enough time. They hit him and forced that incompletion. And Walsh able to convert it as his kick is good. And they'll get back 3, but this remains a large deficit. I'm kind of surprised by that they kicked the field goal. I guess you get some points, but this deficit 3rd quarter, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't either. Yeah, I'm with you on that one. When you're down that much, kicking a field goal, does it feel a little bit maybe waving the white flag and just want to get out of here? Yeah, I think you got to go ahead and try and get some bigger points on the board. Well, conventional football 101, tells us if you don't get it back to the 20-yard line on a kickoff return, that's a disappointment. But some of these teams, special teams coaches, with approval by the head coach, they give them full authority to go ahead and bring it out and try to be aggressive, almost what we call the green light, red light theory. Green light means go, red light means...
And that's caught inside the 35. Touchdown, Chicago. Calvin Johnson, 88 yards. And this offense is running away with this one.
In order to lead in a game, you're going to get plenty of contributors, but that's his 2nd touchdown catch of this game. He's one of the key guys in this one.
And you better believe he'll be looking for the hat trick here as this one continues to go. And he's got it. They add on more. A little salt in the wound. 2-point conversion makes this lead even bigger. Here's Tucker now out to kick this one away. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Now this offensive unit ready to see what they can do here. They've got to dig down deep. I mean, they need something right now, really anything to cling on to. This offense has struggled.
Partner, join me in a walk to their locker room at the half, okay? Because I think what we would have seen is an offensive coordinator and his assistant coaches getting together with all their positions, then coming together as a group, going over adjustments, and then the head coach coming in and just screaming, wake up.
Yeah.
Let's get moving, guys.
I'm kind of glad we weren't in there at halftime, actually.
I mean, you think you might have turned it on us, too?
Yeah, but right now, whatever was said hasn't been working.
Hey, black 22.
On first down, it's Watson. Wide open receiver complete. And they'll get this well past midfield before being stopped just before the 35. A gain of 39 that time.
Well, partner, I'm not sure how this drive's going to end, but how about the way they flip field position there? A nice attacking play. They picked up a heck of a chunk of yardage.
To throw is Watson. Slant route caught by Edelman. And brought down, but not before they're inside the 25. They give them 14 yards that time and a fresh set of downs. They go play action here on first down. Into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. Picked by the Hall of Famer Mel Blount. And they have the football and will take over at the 24-yard line.
And that's a great example of ball skills right there, partner. You and I do a lot of games, and I can't tell you how many guys look to run with the football before they've intercepted it. So that's a nice job of focusing on the task at hand and coming away with the interception.
And he's going to lose yardage here, as they will switch ends as time is back now in Arlington. And this is a blowout so far as we get set for the fourth quarter. A very one-sided affair. Coming up now on a 2nd and 15 following that sack.
Now let's go.
Now Elway to throw. He's going to sling this deep downfield. That's going to be knocked away and incomplete. Calvin Johnson, the intended receiver. And now it's third down.
Well, the obvious goal is to try and score a touchdown, but at the least, adding to a pretty big yardage total for his intended receiver there, huh?
Yeah, well, when you got a guy over 150 yards, keep chucking it deep to him, I guess.
Yeah, no doubt about it. You can get it to him short, and he can make plays that way, but I like what you just said. Throw it to him deep and get it in a big chunk.
But incomplete on that try. Now a shot taken on third down, but it's going to wind up incomplete. And incomplete. The contact made the ball roam free and brings up fourth down.
Even without a ton of pressure in his face, it just shows how difficult it is to pick apart his own defense. Those guys are sitting back, and they're not playing receivers as much as they're playing the eyes of the quarterback and when he delivers the ball.
Gone.
Check it out.
All right, now, lucky 56. Lucky 56.
Delay of game, offense.
And that'll be accepted, of course, and that moves him back 5. And with things looking pretty good on the scoreboard, they're going to keep the offense out there and go for it here on fourth.
Now let's go. Green 39. Green 39. All right, now, lucky 56. Lucky 56. Gone.
They'll try and throw for it with Elway. He's going to let this one go deep. And this is going to be incomplete. Boy, it looked like he had it and dropped it. And now possession will go over inside the 15-yard line. And now back out comes the offense. And there are parts of their last drive they'd like to emulate. And, of course, they'd like to forget the ending, the interception. But they did put together, Charles, a nice sustained drive to get him down the field.
Yeah, and unfortunately for them, the only thing that matters is part 2, right? Because once they threw the interception and finished off the drive, That does them no good to go back and say, well, you know, we had a good one going. Finish things off. That's the only way you can get it done. What's the old adage? Be quick, but don't hurry. Well, that went right out the window there. He was hurried, harassed. That ball had to be gotten rid of, otherwise he was going to get sacked.
And they get to him quickly here as he stopped right around the 13. Only a yard on the pickup there, so it leaves them needing a conversion here on 3rd and a tough 9.
Oftentimes we praise an offense for their variety of being able to hit people with the run in the pass, but in this game, how about what we're seeing from the safeties? They are all over the field. Doesn't matter if they threw it or if they're trying to run it.
I don't think we've ever awarded an MVU, most valuable unit, but you're right, it might go to them in this game.
I like that, MVU. Well done.
Just a yard on the run there, and that's going to bring us to a 4th down. Time for a break. Back to finish it off on EA Sports after this. So it's our home team here in possession of the football as we come back. They come up on a 4th down situation with things not looking particularly rosy. And Walsh able to convert it as his kick is good. And they'll get back 3, but this remains a large deficit. Well, in the grand scheme of things, those 3 points likely not going to matter much, but I guess they get a little closer, a little more respectability.
Yeah, you're exactly right. They've been outplayed all game long, but like my mom used to tell me all the time before I went out, dress up a little bit, son. Make yourself respectable. And that's what they're doing here. They're just dressing up the final score.
And now Chicago getting ready to go as they take the field. They come into enemy territory, and I don't care what the matchup is in the National Football League. You're up like this late in the game on the road. This feels pretty good.
Oh, it feels fantastic. Anytime you get a road victory in the NFL, that's a big-time accomplishment. And to do it this convincingly, that just tears up the script that every home team has, which is nobody comes into our house and pushes us around. They took care of business today.
Yeah, they pushed around, and now the final stages of this one. On 3rd down, it's Peterson. And he'll be taken down, but they... got this one up to the 35-yard line. Not totally home free yet, but it's looking good as they come up 1st and 10. And they'll try to save the timeouts to use on defense if need be as he runs up and spikes it.
Tight end right. Tight end right. 4 down. Set.
Here's Peterson. And he'll get up near the 45. They'll spot it at the 44. That one good for 10 yards. And that's going to make it 3rd down and less than a yard. They run, Peterson. And taking it across midfield and inside the 45. It's a gain of 11 yards that time, and it produces a new set of downs.
Do my eyes deceive me, or is he getting stronger as this game moves along?
Burst seems just as good here in the 4th as it was way back in the 1st, doesn't it?
I do believe someone put a lot of time in the offseason and continues to condition during the season in order to continue to carry the ball at this rate.
Again, it's Williams. Oh, and now he bowls him over. And he's got this down almost to the 20 before he's dropped. And a nice carry there of 15 yards. They'll hand it off now. Williams. He'll have another 1st down and more. And finally wrestled down at the 8-yard line. That's 30 yards now in the last 2 plays, back-to-back 15-yarders, and they're rolling. They'll try and run. This is Williams. And he's going to bull his way down to about the 1-yard line. And now we'll get a timeout here. They're able to stop it with 1 second to go in this game. 2nd and goal from the 1.
Watch him now, Barney. Barney. All right, here we go. 3-19.
Elway wants to throw. And this will be caught. Well, forget taking the knee. Some late gamesmanship here as they throw for a late touchdown.
Is it okay if I break one of our rules, partner, which is to never call a game over until it's over? Because this certainly feels...
Oh, they flip it to the kicker. He looks like he's going to throw it. It's caught outright by Graham. And he gets in. Well, no one was expecting a fake there, but they add 2 more onto their lead. Well, Charles, it's one thing to win. It's another thing to win and put up the amount of points that they did. Boy, were they clicking up.
The NFL playoffs are upon us. It's the coach in Orlando, and you're tuned in to Madden Ultimate Team on EA Sports. Coming up, we've got a good one on tap between the Orlando Sentinels and the Chicago Tigers. With that, we send you up to US Bank Stadium in Minneapolis. Standing by our commentators, Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
Brandon Gaudin, Charles Davis, happy to be with you. And, Charles, we've got 2 teams who know each other extremely well. These division games, they tend to be battles.
People scout like crazy in this league, but no one scouts more than within the division. Because if you win your division, you're automatically in the playoffs. That puts extra emphasis on these games, and they can't wait to get at each other.
And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. They'll run for the first time with Johnson. A very good move, but for a relatively modest gain out near the 32. He'll get a nice chunk there on the first down run, and it's 2nd and 4.
A quick burst there, and he nicely bit off a pretty decent gain.
Set! 3-19! 3-19!
On 2nd down, Johnson. And he'll get this up only to about the 33. And he got half of what he needed there, 2 yards, and it'll bring up a 3rd and 2 more.
But we just saw a great example of what we talked about with his coach prior to the game. He's definitely one of the better linebackers at reading a play and flowing to make the stop before it turns into something big.
They'll try and run for it. Here's Johnson. And he went backwards. He'll be down at the 30. And a loss of 3 to bring up 4. Well, so much for picking it up on the ground on 3rd down. 3rd play of the drive, and this defense showing strong early.
I wonder how much of that was scouting. I wonder how much of that was a gut feeling like, okay, let's just go ahead and sell out here and get after them, thinking they're going to run the football and stuff them early, because they've now set the tone. They've set a precedent right here. If you're going to try and run the ball against us, it could be hard going throughout this game.
So out comes this offense to take over for the first time. And they're led out by a man in John Elway, who had 300 career touchdown passes right on the nose.
Isn't it fitting that it was the perfect round number? 300, not 301, right? Not 297. John Elway, perfect way to finish it. Over 51,000 yards passing, and then into the Hall of Fame as expected in 2004.
Give him 10 yards on the pickup, and that'll bring up a 2nd and just about a few inches here. Going for the deep ball. This is caught inside the 15. A gain of 39 that time.
Press coverage on the outside, and for defenders, that's the ultimate risk reward. If you take the risk, Can you reward yourself by keeping them on the line of scrimmage? But no, not on that one. Got the step on them. Now it's just a matter of laying the ball out there for him to go get it.
They'll try and run for it on 1st and goal. He gets this down to the 3, but no further. Brought the power run out of the bag and got a couple extra yards with it. A good run of 6 yards there. Gets him closer to the goal line with 2nd down coming up.
All right, Brandon, I know we're in the early going here, but those kind of runs, they're going to open up a world of opportunities for this offense going forward.
To throw is Elway. Got his man, and it's caught for a Chicago touchdown. In for the score. And his guys have taken a first-quarter lead.
And when Shannon Sharp scores a touchdown, there's a natural exuberance that goes along with it. You remember the time he was playing in Denver, and he got on the sideline phone and said, call the president. But we are absolutely killing the Patriots right now. That's his personality. That's who he is. And his team tends to respond to it quite well.
And the formula there on the 2-point try, they go 5 wide. Not even the option to hand the ball off. They got it.
They tried to create space, and there isn't a whole lot of it there. For the defense, what you're trying to do is make sure that if they're going to catch the ball, make them catch it behind you because they run out of space with the back line. But in this case, the offense figured it out.
They fake the give. Now Elway. Blitz coming, and down he goes. Kevin Green coming hard on the blitz. He dumps him for a loss of 8. And here the pressure from the outside linebacking spot.
And normally when that happens and they're able to get home, that means other guys on his team helped him out a lot. They occupied people to allow it to be no less than a one-on-one situation, allows him to get home.
No gain on the play this time, and it'll be a 3rd and long situation coming up.
Early down stuff to put this offense in a precarious position. We know the securing the point of attack, especially against the big-bodied guys in the middle of this D, has got to be priority 1.
And before they can run another play, the clock hits 000. Here with Charles Davis, Brandon Gaudin. It's Orlando in possession of the football here to begin quarter number 2. They do, however, have a tough 3rd and long coming up. Out of the gun, Elway. Dumping it off for Johnson. They convert on 3rd with a gain of 22. And on display right there, the arm that made John Elway a lot of money.
And that's going to leave a mark because when he throws it with that much force, one of the best arms the game has ever seen, one of the strongest ones, it does leave a mark. They actually called it the Elway cross.
Julio Jones all alone. Touchdown. Julio Jones, 62 yards. And his guys now just a 2-point conversion away from tying us up. And correct me if I'm wrong, that was just a simple fly route, wasn't it?
No, there's nothing to correct at all. You got it down pat. And I just remember as a player, when I'd be in practice sessions and I'd hear 9 from the receivers, that meant fly route, go, look out. That was the 9, and he just kept going all the way into the end zone for the touchdown.
This is fielded at the goal line. And he's up across the 25 and down at the 28-yard line. And now Chicago getting ready to go as they take the field. And they're hoping to redo their efforts in the last drive when they got into the end zone.
And just think of what it's like now on the sideline. Because when you score a touchdown, you have to go over and look at the tablet and see what you did on the last drive. When you scored points, it's a whole lot better view than when you're trying to...
This is caught inside the 15. And he is in. Touchdown, Chicago. Calvin Johnson, 72 yards. And his guys get the quick strike touchdown. Charles, there aren't really any slow receivers, but there's fast and then really fast. He's really fast, and he showed off the afterburners there.
And that he is, because when he took off, I was thinking there's no chance that he can actually reach him with that pass. Yet he did, and he's still sprinting. And just think about what that does for everyone else on his team, because his ability to stretch a field opens things up for the rest of the receivers on the team.
Here's Tucker now out to kick this one away. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. So out now comes the offense back onto the field. And for them, a touchdown their last go-around. Obviously, they'll be hoping to do that again.
And when you start plotting for this drive, when you start thinking to yourself, okay, what are we going to do? You don't go away from what you did before because that worked, but you have to be prepared for wrinkles and counters because you know they'll make some adjustments.
Play action. Elway. Under a heavy rush, and down he goes. Got to imagine the pass rush will be equally intense here on second down following the sack. It's 2nd and 18. 2 minutes remain here in the first half. More from Minneapolis after this. We remind you that coming up at halftime, we'll pay a visit to Jonathan Coachman. He's in Orlando, and he'll have our EA Sports halftime report. Elway to throw on second. Caught on the right side by Jones. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. They give him a gain of 37. On 1st and 10, Elway. And he's got Edelman for the first time. That's complete. And he's going to get this down near the 30-yard line. 15 more there, and they're on a roll. It's another first down. The former 7th-round pick, Julian Edelman, just continues to have such a productive career.
And has made himself into a receiver. Remember, he was a college quarterback, and not just a productive one, a very good one.
At Kent State, right?
Yes, a great.
Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Kevin Green in there to pick up his 2nd sack now of the afternoon. On 2nd down, Elway. And his throw's going to be incomplete.
When I watched that play, I thought about what my coaches had told me in the past. The biggest teaching point, get your head around. Locate the football so you can make a play on it while it's in the air. That's exactly what he did there. That was nice.
Now Elway on 3rd and long. And that is incomplete. Before the game, they were running the route tree about as efficiently and effectively as we could have possibly imagined, but sometimes the passes just go awry.
Yeah, let's face it, when you're running the route tree in pregame, you don't have defenders breathing down your neck. You don't have defensive backs making plays on the football. Hard to replicate the intensity of the game in pregame.
And now Chicago getting ready to go as they take the field. And we'll see how this is played. Offensively, they've got the lead. Not a whole lot of time left. What do you think, Charles?
Well, it's tempting to try and add to your lead, but a mistake there, that can change things in a big way. I say go ahead, take the knee, get up.
And that's caught inside the 35. Touchdown, Chicago. Calvin Johnson, 93 yards. And his guys are going to add on to their lead. So from back deep in their home territory all the way into the end zone, you think they expected to score on that one?
I'm not sure they expected to score, but they also showed that they're not averse to taking a little bit of a risk there, right? Taking a chance, because the normal call is take care of the football, run it, be safe. Instead, they put it in the air and took a gamble, and it paid off in a big way. That wasn't an analytics call. That wasn't a fantasy guy's call. That was like a video game call right there.
It was a little bit of a video game call, but it worked. Throwing now, Elway on first down. And the tip there altered the ball flight, and it falls incomplete. It'll be second down.
Anytime a ball's thrown in the middle of the field that's popped up in the air, I expect someone to catch. It doesn't matter whether it's offense or defense because there's usually a great amount of bodies in that part of the field. In this case, no one came up with it.
He's got it, the tight end, Jeff Hireman. He's at the 40. And he takes this thing way down into Chicago territory. Now hold everything here. We're going to get a timeout by the offense, as they'll stop it with a little over 30 seconds to go in the first half of play. Line of scrimmage moves from their own 25 all the way to the red zone now for 1st and 10. From the red zone now, Elway on 1st down. And it pops free. The collision there jarred the ball loose and brings up 2nd down.
It's a lot of contact going on there, and in the end, unable to keep 2 hands on the football and bring it into his body.
Everything looked pretty good until the finish. Again on 2nd and 10, it's Elway. That's complete right around the 8. And a stoppage here, a timeout before this 3rd down play takes place. As the stoppage will come with 23 seconds to go till halftime.
Green 39! Green 39!
Again, it's Elway. Now the pressure gets there, and he goes down just inside the 20 at the 19. Now on 4th down, we've got a whistle here and a timeout as they stop it with 16 seconds to go in half number 1. And Walsh able to convert it as his kick is good. And high fives for that one as that drive ends in 3. So the 3 points here, they're still down, but they put somewhat of a dent into that lead going into the break.
Anything helps when you're trying to chip away at a lead, but they do know that they're going to need a little bit better effort in the 2nd half.
And he'll take it past the 25 and up to the 28-yard line. 9 seconds to play, likely the final snap of the first half as it's 1st and 10. Now a timeout taken. Perhaps a chance for one more quick play and then another timeout if they hurry. We'll see.
Here we go. All right, here we go. 3-19.
Now a play fake here on 1st down. He's going to loft it deep right sideline. That's caught inside the 20. And with just 1 second remaining in the first half, they'll call the timeout. The field goal unit on the sideline. They're going to go with 1 second left.
Set. 3-19. 3-19.
Final play of the half. It's Elway. And he will be brought down as time is now run out on this first half of action. First half in. And just like that, on we head to half number 2. Both teams appear ready for the fight ahead, and we resume action here in quarter number 3. Roberts on the return. And a big-time mess on the return. He's out of bounds. He won't even get this back to the 5-yard line.
Well, not exactly a banner return, so he doesn't give his offense a whole lot of room to work with. They've got to go a long way now to try and score some points. I do know this from experience. There will be a few comments muttered his way by the offense as they head out on the field.
Green 39. Green 39.
Elway down around his goal line. He's going to float this one deep right side. And that's caught inside the 35. Touchdown, Chicago! Calvin Johnson, 96 yards. And his guys find a way to stretch that lead. Still plenty of time left in the game, but now starting to pull away a little bit. Get some breathing room with that one.
And I don't want people to think that NFL locker rooms are cookie cutter, that everyone's saying the exact same thing in every situation. But I do know that all 32 teams have an emphasis on starting fast, game the second half, no matter what, with his first 5 minutes, first 3, whatever, this was a big score to start the second half.
Here's Tucker now out to kick this one away. Now out comes their leader and the captain of this offense back onto the field. He's playing pretty well. I don't think it's necessarily him changing up something he's doing, but it's Elway. Rush coming, and he's taken down. Ryan Shazier in there to get him his second sack now of the afternoon.
Brandon, I think you understand the type of afternoon this offensive line is having. It is a long one for them. Long for you to spend it with me. Long for them trying to block those guys. They've given up a whole lot of sacks, and the speed and quickness that defensive line is eating them alive.
And he's going to go down again. Ryan Shazier getting him once again, his third sack of the afternoon.
Okay, let's go back a little bit and see if my schooling comes to the front. What's that old saying? Those who forget the lessons of history are doomed to repeat them. That's the same guy who's gotten back-to-back sacks.
And he's going to be taken down, sacked back at the 2. Ryan Shazier. Who else? He's in there for his 4th sack of the afternoon.
I think we've seen this before. Someone's down.
Oh, had to get it out quickly, but it's blocked. And he will score. Touchdown, Chicago. As his guys are in for 6. And his guys are going to add